Welcome back. Your time is 3:39 with me, Martin Daubney, here on GB News. Now, the Labour Party has refused to fly an historic county flag over Downing Street that celebrates the British battle against Napoleon. There it is. Look at it. Majestic. The Middlesex flag won't fly over Downing Street this year to mark the celebration. Well, why? Here's a man who might know the answer, because joining me now is the Conservative MP for Romford and the chair of the British Heritage All-Party Parliamentary Group, Andrew Rosindell. Andrew, a pleasure to have your company once again. What's so offensive about this flag?
Nothing at all. In fact, the flying of the Middlesex flag started under Boris Johnson. Of course, Boris was a Middlesex MP representing Uxbridge, but so is Keir Starmer. Now, Rishi Sunak continued with that tradition, celebrating the historic British counties. And London, of course, is part of the historic county Middlesex. So it's only right that the fantastic flag, and it is a majestic flag.
Well, look at it, it's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
It's an absolutely wonderful thing.
I'm from Essex, although I have to say that Middlesex was originally part of the Kingdom of Essex, yes. So I sort of lay a bit of claim to it. But the fact is, the Middlesex Heritage, which is an organisation set up by the wonderful Russell Grant, who you'll know, and he has promoted the idea of historic counties through the British Association of Counties, and Boris flew that flag. I was there for the flying that day. Now, there's no reason why that flag shouldn't be flown. It was gifted to Number 10. It's not offensive to anybody. It represents the whole of the historic county.
Well, except it is offensive to the Labour Party.
But why? Why? I don't get it. You know, don't they like our heritage, our history, our proud traditions and our customs? And the counties are part of that. In fact, they're essential to our entire history. You know, on geography, in culture, social interaction and historic connections. So Middlesex still exists. It was never abolished. The county council may have been abolished, but the county itself was never got rid of. And this is the misunderstanding. They think that county councils are the same as counties. They're not. They are purely administrative creations.
So what about this connection that it celebrates British fight against Napoleon? A, what's wrong with that? You know, if we beat the French at stuff, I think that's worthy of a glass of something anyway. Is it that? It might offend the French. Is this it rather cosy up to Macron than acknowledge the people of Middlesex? Or is it something else? The fact that it was Boris's idea, therefore he wants to stop it simply because of that?
Martin, I think it's more simple than this. I just don't think the Labour Party understand the heritage of our country. They see it as all out of date. They see it as something that we should discard and forget about. Let's be modern. Let's move forward. Let's forget our history. Let's start from day one, as if history never happened. And the reality is, the United Kingdom, but particularly England, has a patchwork of historic counties. I'm deeply proud of being from Essex. I'm sick and tired of people saying that Romford is East London when we're Essex. None of us want to be under the Greater London Authority. But the thing we do hold dear to is the historic counties, because they were never abolished. So when people say Middlesex doesn't exist, it's wrong. And it's so important to people in daily lives today. Essex County Cricket Club, as a great example. Middlesex University, Middlesex County Cricket Club. All these things are important. But to get rid of those traditions doesn't help anybody. In fact, it offends the people that think it's important.
And Andrew, it also resurrects an argument we saw last Thursday about the Reform Party talking about the banning of flying certain flags because they seem to be superseding our own. The Ukrainian flags, more or less, all over the shop. Pride flags, all over the shop. And there seems to be a sense that those flags, the fashionable flags, the liberal flags, they're a good thing. But celebrating British culture is seen as bad. And it makes people believe, I think the political class seems to have an obsession with trendy causes, but they're not actually proud to be British.
No, I think that we've too many flags that have political meaning behind them. But I think what's important is we actually fly our national flags, our country flags. So at my town hall, we fly the Union flag, Cross of St George, and we are flying the Essex flag for Essex Day, but I think it should be flown all year round. But I don't believe we should be flying flags of every type of minority cause. I do think there are days such as...
it's just beautiful.
It's great.
It's an absolutely
it's
beautiful...
fantastic.
That is
but, you know, it's very similar to the Essex flag, but we don't have the crown. They're lucky. They've got the crown on the Middlesex flag.
I just think it's a gorgeous
We
piece
have the
of
sea axis on the Essex one, but not the... It's fantastic.
I just don't understand why people poke their nose in looking for trouble.
But there should be
a flag. It's beautiful.
Absolutely, but there should be, you know, the national flag, the country flag, the county flag, and, say, for instance, Battle of Britain Day, I'd fly the Royal Air Force flag.
I've got a crown, look. For the first time in my life, I've got a crown. Beautiful. Sorry to interject. Go on.
You know, St David's Day, I'd fly the Welsh flag. But would I fly flags of all these sort of causes and minority? No, I wouldn't. I think we need to get back to sensible policy of flag flying. Yes, if an international visitor comes to Parliament, and Mr Speaker, I have to say, is fantastic. He's flying the historic county flags. He flies flags when a visiting head of state or an ambassador or high commissioner comes of that country, out of respect for their visit. But should we be flying these flags on a daily basis? No, we shouldn't.
What about the Ukraine
to our
flag?
National flags.
I want to push you on the Ukraine flag. A lot of people say, you know, the trouble with supporting any foreign venture, foreign country, foreign war, it lays it open to the fact we have to then support them all. For example, there was a huge pushback. Oh, we can't put the Israeli flag up in case it offends the pro-Palestine community, but the Ukrainian flag is ubiquitous across town halls.
I think, personally speaking, I understand why the Ukraine flag was flown at the start of the war. I understand after the 7th of October 2 years ago why the Israeli flag. I put the Israeli flag outside my office, Margaret Thatcher House in Romford. We flew the Israeli flag.
Yeah, good for you. But a lot of town halls didn't. Wembley Stadium wouldn't.
They didn't.
A lot of official buildings wouldn't.
But it is a dangerous road to go down, because then you're going to fly the flag of anywhere where there's a conflict. And I think political flags should not be flown. We should stick to national flags, country flags, town flags, county flags, and for national celebrations, royal flags, Battle of Britain Day for the RAF, St George's Day, St David's Day. Let's stick to those things. Let's discard this multiplicity of flags that really are promoting particular causes.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be political. We should be promoting our heritage and our sense of nationhood. That's what's most important when it comes to flying the flag.
Let's have one final look at this flag here.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not even from Essex. I think it's absolutely resplendent. It's beautiful.
Well, that's Middlesex, Martin.
Yeah, it's just so well drawn. Yeah. It just taps into a national fervour, a patriotism. It's majestic.
It is, it is. And if you go to Parliament Square today, you see the flags of all the British overseas territories and the Crown dependencies. I had to fight to get those flags flying. The DCMS didn't even have them in stock.
Yeah, they're beautiful. Yeah.
And later in the year, we have the County Day, and we fly the flags of all the British counties in July. So every British county's flag is flown in Parliament Square. But I do pay tribute to Mr Speaker, because this year he's now flying the county flags on each day. And tomorrow he will fly the Middlesex flag, Lindsay Hoyle, unlike Keir Starmer, who's refusing to do so.
I'm being told we have to move on. I'm simply getting too excited by flags. But thank you very much for joining us, Andrew Rosindell. Absolutely love it. Thank you. Now, if you're in search of some holiday sun, then here is the forecast for some of the top European destinations.